maybe it's a tree frog? I don't know. You probably can't hear it because this thing's going and I can't turn it off. It's 94 degrees and 10 a.m. It's a hot one. And we got something going on called corn sweat. I hadn't heard of that before, but apparently it's a thing here. It's extra humid because the corn's sweating. I don't know. I've been hearing this noise. I'll get away from the fan here for a moment. There's I'll be quiet so you can listen to it. I don't know if you can hear it at all. I think it's coming from the neighbor's house. It could either be a car, like an odd sound that a car would make if you leave the door open, but it sounds like a frog, but I don't know. Hey, what's up, garden friends? Jeff here. How's everybody doing? You're doing well. I'm great. Warm. Bearably warm. Hasn't gotten too terribly hot yet. The 94, not so bad in the shade. This is what I need to handle. Talked about this in a video a while ago when I was setting up some drip, and I decided to hold off on this until I had time to just do a video all on its own, because it's an interesting concept, and I thought might just be better on its own, not mixed into an hour-long videos. What I have here is an ultra flexible arc and range sprinklers. I know that doesn't mean much. I have an area over here in the garden, sorry, that's probably too much movement, where I just cannot keep things hydrated. You see? So this is going to be okay. There's still some green down at the base, and it is moist, but it's not looking great. I have all these beautiful things planted up in here, and nothing will grow because, I'm thinking maple tree. So I need to get a small sprinkler system set up in here. In years past, I've run drip in here, which has been fine, but I would like to do something that I'm not going to have to put a lot of heads on. This one over there, it's 3 heads, which means I probably do one probably over here, because I'm going to want to be able to kick up and get to this area right here, and probably another one right there and another one over here. I just want to get this whole area covered without having to run something for a really long time. You have to undrip for a pretty long time for it to be effective, even with the micro sprayers, which is, I use a lot of those, but still, you got to run them for a long time. I don't want to do that over here. And yes, there are weeds. There's lots of weeds in here. This was full of beautiful plants, and most ones I wanted to grow here decided that they didn't want to be here, and other things have come in. So yeah, there's a lot to do to fix up the area, but I haven't been motivated to do that until I get the water right for the spot. See some wild morning glories coming up over there. And what are you? What is that? I don't recall planting that. It looks like some sort of legume. Huh. It's an area where I try to not walk around in the bed that much because I don't want to compact the soil. Spent a long time building this up. This is what's left of the astilbe that was planted here, I assume. Actually, that doesn't really look like does it? Okay, I guess so. Well, it had some dieback. Now it's coming back to life. In order to get that area looking good again, being able to water it is important. So that's where this thing comes into play. I got this from Amazon, and I don't want to say I don't have faith in it. It's just not something I'm familiar with using. But it seems to me like it's basically like a drip setup, but with sprinklers. And I am interested in this because I have some pieces that I can hook to my drip that I think actually would work with these different parts. I've yet to figure it out. There are pieces that I have somewhere. They're with all my drip stuff. Pieces that hook into your 1/2-inch line, but have a fitting on the top to put in a micro sprinkler and not a micro sprayer. This wouldn't really be a micro sprinkler. It's like full-on sprinkler. So, I don't know. Looks like these are adjustable, which is what I was hoping for. So you can dial them from 0 degrees to 360. I don't know if I really believe that. Almost none of these are actually 360 degrees, and can turn this knob here to adjust the pressure on them. So that's good. There's a lot of customization that can be done here. Are these pop-ups? No, these are not pop-ups. Doesn't look like it. It's usually pretty obvious when things are pop-up heads. All the fittings in here, these look like extenders, and then here is the hose. Let's see, it's open on one end. I'm pretty sure this is going to go together just like a drip system would. Lay it out, cut the hose and attach everything with these fittings. What in the heck is this supposed to mean? Look at that. Sprinkler heads are not would you hold still? Not adjustable. And then underneath it says there are 3 different methods to adjust a sprinkler. What? You can adjust the arc, twist the top part to reduce or increase the arc of the water, which I assume they mean the radius or diameter. Adjust the spray direction, twist the middle part. Twist the middle part, can't adjust the spray direction. Okay. Flow control, turn the bottom switch to control. There's troubleshooting over here for issues that you may have with flow. That's good to know. I have a peek here at the directions. Seems pretty straightforward, but I may as well have a peek, right? Okay, that was the thing I was looking for, was more about what to do with those risers. The risers seem pretty easy to use. Just take this piece off, put a riser in, put that on top. There is a spot where I might need to use that. So yeah, it's just like a drip. Just going to cut the different sections and make them fit together. I did not take into account that this may not be enough hose. That's just a 1/2-inch garden hose, so this is something you could totally do on your own if you have fittings like this, because I'm pretty sure they look like hose actually, I don't know if those are. Maybe not. I never finished my thought. It'll be easier for me to finish that thought when I actually have things over there. I need to see the ins and the outs. First step, I'm going to say, would be to take the sprinkler heads, stake them down to the ground, and see where I want them, right? Should be fairly quick and easy. And then that will determine where to run the hose. So this is the area where I'm thinking probably going to need a riser, because there's a slope here. The slopes, they cause so many problems with the watering. Oh, there's a random little viola that's popped up over there. Lone survivor, huh? Oh, that's because I dumped a spring planter over there. Some bulbs I need to push down to the ground. Okay, so I'm thinking probably right around here. This should be good. Let's take it down nice and far. Not too far, so I want to end up getting covered with mulch, but also dog. It's another reason that I didn't want to use the drip pieces over here, because dog. The drip works wonderfully in areas without the dog traffic, but in areas where the turbo can run and frolic, not so much. Actually, might need 2 risers here. So I'm going to do one right there, and that can do about a 180. And then do one right here, and that could do a 180, but it's got to be able to go all the way up this. I know you probably can't tell, but there is a slope here. Sorry, I was looking down at the other one to see if the sprinkler head is male or female down here. So okay, so female, gonna come down here to male, which I think is the way that needs to go. I'm not positive. So I would say the biggest downside to this method would be that, well, if you're wrong about where you set them, it's too bad. It's a drip, you have goof plugs, and you can easily repair things. With this, you'll have to cut out the line and then put a hose repair kit in and extend the hoses. It'd be a lot more work. Okay, those should be able to reach up here if I put the extenders on them. You said you can add up to 2 extenders on one. I only have 3 extenders, so I'm not going to be doing that. But I do think that just one should be good. So that's going to really get this area and take care of it. Then I have this area over here where things don't get hit by the sprinklers basically at all. I should be able to adjust this in this area so that it will do a semi-fan. So it'll water right here and then over into that angle, and then all of the other things in between. It'll help let the weeds grow in between the rocks. Perfect. They're not really weeds. I stopped to scratch my ankle. Not very professional, but my ankle was itching, and I had a thought. It's not the same problem. Like, it's not weeds, like, that are growing in the middle of the bed. I consider those to be steppables. It's a lot of native violets, wild strawberries, those kinds of things. Okay, got those removed. My plan was to just use my pruners here to cut the different lengths, but I don't know how well that's going to work out, because they did not want to cut through those thin little plastic straps, so I may have to come up with something different for that. Now I'm just wondering, is there going to be enough hose here? Huh, no, I didn't measure. I feel like you already knew that. You know I didn't measure this, and I'm sure it said in the listing how much hose it came with. I don't know. I was like, well, whatever, I'm gonna get it. And just have to make it work, right? So over here, this is the vicinity where I want the hose to connect. So that will be the starting point. So then the question becomes, do I want this to start right here by this head? Or do I want to start it down there and let it run through and let this be the end? Because this end right here, or I guess probably will be the end, right? Doesn't need as much pressure because it doesn't have to go anywhere near as far. I don't need as much of a reach out of this head as I do the other ones. That's why I'm inclined to start with that head and bring it through. And okay, so maybe I'll just have to do a triangle here and let the hose run through the garden. I'm not bothered by that. Not bothered one bit. That hose can run right through the garden. I don't care. Best thing to do to maintain good pressure is to not get excessive with your tubing, right? So want to make sure it's laid out properly. Should be good. I'm trying to really think about where I have these heads set. I want to imagine, you know, how much throw I want them to have. This one right here, I want to, look at that little Tradescantia popping up over there. Want this to be able to throw up to at least right here. I would hope that it could. This one I want it to be able to go from here to here. So there might be some overlap right here, and that's okay. But I also want to make sure it's going to be able to get the hostas that aren't growing, so there's not enough water, over there. So I'm wondering, I should actually probably take this one, scoot it down some, pull up some of these. May as well, right here. So just go ahead and just get them up. Makes it easier to see what I'm doing. Okay, let's see here. I'm also trying to keep in mind the placement of the shrubbery. So this shrub is going to block everything on the other side of it, and will that head make up for it? So I could have that one fan out to here, to there. It should be okay, but then this one, if it's directly in front of that, then so much is going to get missed. But this may end up getting missed too. Huh. I think it makes more sense for this to actually go over here. So this one will fan out, hopefully handle this area. That one's going to fan out, it'll overlap, handle everything over there. And then this one should be able to do what's going on in this spot. It's an overlap. Yeah, I think that should be good. That way we have a nice triangle of things here. Maybe I could even move this one down some. That might be a good idea because I don't want things to overlap too closely. And just hope there's enough water pressure. Oh, and enough hose, because I have changed things up. Excuse me, Turbs. Excuse me. Excuse me, Turbo. Okay, we're just, stay there. Don't mind me. There we go. Yeah, okay, there's plenty of hose here. Well, not plenty, but there's enough. Okay, connectors. All right, so from what I'm gathering here, should be pretty straightforward. These are the different pieces. Have 3 of these long ones, 2 of these little guys, which I suppose makes sense because this would go on the outflow of the sprinkler head, and on the very last sprinkler head, you put a cap on it. Let's just go ahead and do that. Go ahead and put the cap. Oh, wait, do you just put a cap on it? It doesn't look like that's just going to fit a cap. Oh, it already has a cap on it. Huh? Okay, they gave me an extra cap. Cool. Did I just happen to put the last one in the series in the right? Because the other ones didn't have caps on them, did they? I don't think so. If they all have caps on them, that would be weird. No, they don't. Okay, I just happened to put the last one in the right spot. Cool, there's an extra cap. I couldn't find a parts list anywhere, so it's pretty much just a look at the diagram and figure it out. So we have a female connector, a male connector. This is a coupler, so a hose repair. You need to extend or cut out a chunk of the hose. And a T, which is what you would use if you were to set it up with method 2. Method 2 would be a smart way to go if you're having problems with pressure. Teeing things off instead of having a loop tends to help with water pressure. This is only 3 heads, so I'm hopeful that that's not going to be a problem. Alright, let's start with the first 2. See how this goes. Forgot the tripod. What's wrong with me? Why did I forget the tripod? I don't know if it really matters which end you start with. The main thing is that your connectors lined up in the right spot. And then you need to see if these will cut through this hose. They need to be sharpened. Yeah, it'll do it. That'll work. That works just fine. Just have to pry them back open. There we go. And do that right there. And the way these things work, I use these on the gravel vacuums for the fish tank a whole bunch. Different size, but same concept. This piece comes off like that. Put it onto this end of the hose. And then this piece gets the hose inside of it. Hold on. Need a short tripod to use out here. So you can see the hose is going to fit into this spot right here. I just got really startled by an acorn. Before I attach that, I'm gonna screw this in, because it's going to be hard to twist this on when there's a piece of hose connected to it, right? Probably should have put some plumber's tape on there. Wasn't thinking about that. Okay, I'm gonna take that, push it in all the way. Try to not bend these things. They're very important. This piece is going to clamp those down once you have this pushed in all the way. Make sure it's all the way in. Okay, take that, screw that down. That's going to clamp that piece together and hold it in place. See? It's pretty easy. Do the same thing on this side, but, you know, well, opposite. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to the rest of them, get the hose hooked up, and see how this runs. Wow, that was much faster than setting up a drip. I don't really know why. You think about drip, you just use your 1/2-inch tubing, and then you punch it. And well, it's because of all the different connectors, whereas these things just screw together. That was really fast. It's been, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes since we were just here. No, probably like 3 minutes. I went and grabbed a quick connect to hook the hose up to this right here. In the long run, this will be on a timer, and we'll have a separate hose run to it, and then I'll have a main. It's gonna be a whole separate thing. Don't even worry about that right now. First thing to do is turn it on, check for leaks, adjust the heads, see what kind of pressure these things have. Oh wow! Oh! Now, okay, well that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I can't be spraying the neighbor's house. I can't do that. Didn't think that one through. I gotta dial this one way down. Yeah, probably like that. Okay, and you open them up like so. That's going to change the pressure too by opening them up. Okay. Could probably even bring that one in. I'm getting very, very wet right now. Okay, that's not hitting the neighbor's yard, so that's good. This whole area, getting some coverage. Perfect. I don't think I'm going to need to put the riser on this. Almost definitely not. Okay, this one's going to be more stubborn. Right in the face. Okay. Got a nice fan going here. I think I could even open this up some more. Did want it to be a little bit closer to more of like a 180. Want there to be some overall. Oh, I didn't even realize I was all zoomed in. I made some adjustments. So give this a turn, widen it up, and then reduce the pressure on it because it doesn't need to be water in the hot tub. That doesn't make any sense at all. I need to move this bucket too. That's going to get full of water. Let's just bring that over here. Actually, you know what? Bucket, I'm just gonna do that with that bucket. Mosquitoes have been pretty bad lately. I lost the shoe. Sandal, things are getting slippery. This is the last one. So that narrows it down. Turn it like that. Bring it over. Let it come this way. Need to bring it even further because I want it to come all the way over here. Right? Like that. Needs to come more this way. And a little bit more open. This one, I may actually need the riser for. Well, maybe not. I don't think I need the riser for that. But I would like if the pressure was better. Look at how low the pressure dropped on these others when I opened this one up. Now, I can open this one up some more. I have it, turned down because I didn't want it hitting the neighbor's yard. Alright, actually I should open this one up some more too. Straighten it out. So you see how these are almost overlapping right there. Want to make sure these ferns are getting water down here. Let's turn that the wrong direction. Okay. Remember, the more open you have all of them, the less pressure there's going to be. I still think that this is probably perfect. Looks like the middle might not be getting a ton of water. So this isn't obviously going to work for a very large area. I should say, I have horrible water pressure. Yes, that's not getting all the way over there. So the options with this one, if I put on a riser, will that help? I think it'll look kind of stupid if it's up on a riser. I don't really want a riser right there. Where else can I adjust some pressure? It doesn't make sense just to be dumping water onto the rocks. It needs to be reaching over there. Now, you know what? That's a rhodia. They don't really need that much water. They really don't. It would probably do better if it weren't getting a lot of water, actually. So, just open that up. So that's getting this area. Yeah, it's still not quite enough. Really close, though. I don't want to turn that one down. Hakan and Chloe, they need water. It's almost perfect. It's so close. I really can't turn any of them down anymore at this point, though. So, we are done. I will add a riser to that one, even though I don't really want to. Oh, and also I should say the water pressure when this is up and going, when it's on a timer and everything, it's technically up and going right now. When I had this set up on a timer, this is going to be running from a different spigot that's on the other side of the house, and the water pressure, for whatever reason, from that spigot is so much better. So I'm not going to spend too much more time messing with this. This is good. It's gotten things up and running. You can take landscape staples to push these down. I did leave some slack in there so that I could move them and adjust them. You lose pressure the more hose you're using, so that's something to keep in mind. But I'm thinking this is going to be pretty good. Should actually start to see some growth out of things other than the weeds. And it is getting this stuff over here, it's more dropping right towards the front of this, whereas I would prefer for it to go up to the top. This is a berm, it's hard to tell, but it has a slope to it. But no, like that. Not a very heavy slope, but you want to go from the top and down. Not from down there and up. You have to put so much water in there to get wicked up. Water is going to want to move down. Oh, that's pretty. Look at how that shines. Made some quick adjustments. So this will either be in at the very end of the video or we'll squeeze it in somewhere. I remembered, basic things here with sprinklers. Water moves down. So I don't need that head turned up to have that overlap right here. I can have these two heads right here overlapping into this area. I'm going to step through here, get wet again, and this one is turned down very low, but it's just covering this outer area that this can't reach. So this comes down right here, then this one right here handles the rest, and water will move down. So that fern, it'll be fine. I really actually could probably even do without this head, but just for now I'm going to go ahead and leave it in there and make sure that it's getting things watered. So I have all these hostas here that just have not been thriving. I want to make sure they're getting plenty of water for right now. Okay, maybe you can see, can't really tell if that's coming up right here. And then, yeah, like I said, that's handling everything else. It's not getting quite to this edge, but that's okay, because again, I know I'm just repeating myself. Main thing I'm concerned about is making sure that this Elysium right here is getting water, because you can see it has not been a happy camper. So I think that this is getting it, right? You see it? Yeah, it's getting it. Perfect. I say this is good, and much, much, much faster than drip. I actually really like this system. I think it's going to make it so I can really do things in this area. And I'm not bothered by the green hose running through the garden. They may have had another color choice too. Brown would be smart. Brown would be a smart color choice. But like I said, I'm not bothered by this. I have a lot of ground covers and things planted in here that aren't growing because, someone over here is sucking up all the water. Oh, it should help. We will see. I'm going to let this run for probably 10 minutes, give everything a nice heavy drink in this spot. And I'll mess with the timing and all of that throughout the next few days. I'm not going to mess with it too terribly much because I got to get that other line run with the better water pressure. That'll change things up some when I get that done. And clean up. Need to clean up. Well, that other end cap just fell down in there, so that's gone forever. Not really. I take the grill apart every now and then and give it a good clean. I think that just went down into... Did it go into the tray? Where did it go? Set this down. Pardon the fan, I had that blowing on me while I was over there. The mosquitoes. Pretty bad. There's a storm sewer over here. Mosquitoes get really bad around that storm sewer. It wouldn't have been able to go in there. That doesn't make any sense. Ah, there it is. Alright. Alright, well hey, thanks for hanging out. That was fun. Got a nice look at one of these easy irrigation kits, and it really was easy. These don't go in there. Those are my quick connects. Make sure to keep all these things together. I like it. That was so much easier than running drip, and I think it's going to give a heavier water without... I'm not going to have to run this very long. That's what I like about it. I would say 10 minutes max. That's going to give everything a very heavy drink in this spot. Whereas with the drip, those micro sprayers, I'd probably have to go for about 30 minutes. Oh, worked out. I paid $39.99 for it. I don't know how much it costs right now. I've had it for a few weeks, but I'll try and remember to link it down below in the description of the video. Comment down below, have you used systems like this? This is just a spot where it's not practical to trench out more lines, partially because there are a lot of roots over here and they're very high up towards the surface. So it would be a nightmare. I can't plant anything in this spot that's in about a 1 gallon max 6-inch 1 gallon container. It takes so long. It took me like 45 minutes to plant that hosta. It was in a small container. So the idea of trenching this out to expand my in-ground irrigation, it sounded awful. And I could have called my irrigation company. They charge $40 a head to change out heads. More than if you want a new line run or like a line expanded on. Much more, a couple $100. I don't think that that's worth it because this is $40 and it's just this area that needed better coverage. So cost the same. I had to do the work myself, but I got to customize it much better because my irrigation company, they just don't seem to get it. It's an older setup. Now this is nice. Save some money, got things done. That's what I like to see. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm having a great day, great life, and everything's just going absolutely beautifully for you. Hey, baby. You have fun swimming? You good boy. All right, as always, and most importantly, everybody, keep on growing. Bye. Bye.